Okay, so let's start with chapter 7 of class 12, P block elements. Now, हमने कुछ P block elements we have done in class 11, right? In which we did the two groups, group 13 and group 14. If you're looking at the periodic table, extreme right of the periodic table, that is going to give us the P block. So, in this, the distinguished electron that is going to enter into the, the valence shell is going to be the P shell, right? So it is going to enter into the P block or the P orbitals. And we also know that there are three P orbitals, Px, Py and Pz. So as there are three orbitals, there are going to be, how many electrons can be accommodated? There are going to be 6 electrons which can be accommodated. As a result of which, we have 6 families in the P block, starting from 13th group and ending to 18th group. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Progressively filling up the P block shells, right? So P block orbitals. So when we are talking of P block, as I just told you, group 13, that is known as the boron family, which you have studied in class 11. And then we have the carbon family, which you studied in class 11 again. In this class, we are going to study, class 12, we are going to study starting from group 15. Group 15, which is the nitrogen family, with first member as nitrogen. Group 16, which is the oxygen family. Then group 17, halogens, starting from fluorine. And lastly, group 18, which is the noble gases, starting from neon. Okay. Now in this case, हम लोग helium को नहीं इसमें लेते हैं, because helium, the last electron that is going to enter into S. When we are talking of these 4 groups over here, the first group, that is group 15. When we are talking of group 15, we say that these are known as pnictogens. Pnictogens क्यों इसको बुलाते हैं? That is because of the reason that the members of this family, they have choking properties, right? They have choking properties like ammonia, it has a very pungent smell. Then we have phosphine, that also has a very bad smell. And then of course nitrogen also. So due to the choking properties, they are known as pnictogens. The second member of the group 15 is phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Okay? So this is what we are going to study in group 15. Then we go to group 16. Group 16 is known as chalcogens. Why are they known as chalcogens? Chalcogens means ore forming. So you've done general principles in the previous lectures. In that you saw that most of the ores, they are either oxides or they are sulfides, right? So oxygen and sulfur, both they are major component of all the ores from which metals are extracted. Therefore, they are known as chalcogens. So the member of group 16 is going to be oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. ठीक है? फिर वापस आ जाता है group 17. Group 17 is known as halogens, right? Halogens are all colored and they are generally sea salt produced. They are generally the sea salt produced, which means that the salt which is present or which we get from the sea, for example, we have sodium chloride. So chlorine, that is going to be a halogen and we get it by evaporation of sea water. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद जो next members इसके आ गए fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and acetylene. Acetylene over here, this is going to be radioactive in nature. Similarly, polonium over here, that is also going to be radioactive in nature. Radioactive substances कौन से होते हैं? Which emit radiations on their own and keep disintegrating into smaller particles. ठीक है? Then the last we have over here is neon. This group is known as noble gases. Okay? This group is known as noble gases or inert gases. Why noble gases or inert gases? Because they have very little tendency to react due to fully filled orbitals which are present in the outermost orbitals. They are going to be fully filled in noble gases. So that is why they are known as inert gases. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे हमारे पास क्या आ गए? The members are neon. The first member is neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. So radon over here, it is going to be radioactive in nature. ठीक है? Radon is going to be radioactive in nature. ठीक है? So let's go on to, we are going to discuss all the groups. Let's go on to the discussion one by one. We will start with group 15 today. Do all the chemical reactions and the physical properties of group 15. What is going to be their anomalous behavior? How do they react in solutions, or how do they react with other non-metals and metals, right? So all that we need to study over here. So let's go on to the study of group 15. Okay, so now we're talking of group 15, which is known as the nitrogen family. Why? Because the first member of this, that is going to be nitrogen, and as I just told you, they are also known as pnictogens because of their choking properties. So the first member over here is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Okay, so let's go on to the electronic configuration. The general electronic configuration of this group, it is Ns2 Np3. Ns2 Np3 is the general electronic configuration. So if we go into nitrogen, we have helium 2s2 2p3, then phosphorus, neon 3s2 3p3, then उसके बाद arsenic, argon 3d10 4s2 4p3, then we have argon के बाद krypton 4d10 5s2 5p3, and then the last one, which is bismuth, which has an electronic configuration of xenon 4f14 5d10 6s2 6p3, and abhi recently there is another member which belongs to this group with with atomic number of 115. It is known as UUP, unpentium. ठीक है? This is unpentium, which has an atomic number of 115 with an electronic configuration of radon 5f14 6d10 7s2 and 7p3. ठीक है? Now when we looking at the electronic configuration, one thing which you can notice over here, that the p block is half filled. Due to this half filled p block, as we already know that half filled and fully filled electronic configurations are very stable. So due to this half filled p orbital, there are certain properties which we will discuss in this group which are different from rest of the groups, and hence we will see that there are certain anomalous behavior of the elements of this group. ठीक है? Let's go on to the properties. Now when we go into the properties over here, we say that in this case, if you again look at the electronic configuration, in this case over here we have 3s2 3p3. ठीक है, that means the 3d that is going to be vacant over here, which is not vacant in the first one, right? So in the last shell over here, nitrogen, it is containing how many electrons? 5 electrons. ठीक है, and if we are talking of S, penultimate shell is the shell which is before the last shell. ठीक है, so penultimate shell over here, it has 2s2 electronic configuration. So it means S over here, that is going to be completely saturated because of fully filled S over here. ठीक है, similarly when we are going to the next one, in case of phosphorus, if you are looking at the electronic configuration of the penultimate shell, now over here penultimate shell can be taken as this, penultimate shell can also be taken as this, because यहाँ पे this is to be more precise, this is the penultimate orbital, because S is a subshell, na? So penultimate shell in this case we are going to take 1s. So 1s has 2 electrons, it can only accommodate 2 electrons, therefore it is saturated. ठीक है? Similarly, when we are going to the second one, phosphorus, neon की electronic configuration is 2s2 2p6. ठीक है, so the penultimate shell over here is having 8 electrons. Again, it can only accommodate 8 electrons, so we say that the penultimate shell in this case is again going to be saturated. ठीक है, then let's go on to arsenic. In case of arsenic, how many electrons are there? 3d 10, right? और इसमें हमारे पास आ जाएगा 3s2 3p6. That makes it 18 electrons in the penultimate shell, right? So again, this is also going to be saturated. So if the penultimate shell is unable or it has completely filled electronic configuration in the penultimate shell, such elements, they are said to be saturated with electrons in the penultimate shell, right? In a similar manner, when we are going to Sp over here, which is antimony, so go to 4d. 4d is 10, right? And then after that, what is the magic numbers which we've done in class 11? 2, 8, 18, 18, 36. ठीक है? So 2, 8, 18. This should also have 18 over here. So this has 18, 10 over here. 4s 2 के पास 2, 4s के पास 2 और 4p के पास 6. So that is also going to have how many? 18 electrons. Okay, but over here when we go to bismuth, we say that the penultimate shell in this case, that is going to be 4, because if you are 6, you are filling 6s2, so that is going to be, sorry, not 4, that is going to be 5. So both these, they do not have completely filled penultimate shells, as a result of which we say that they are unsaturated in each, because both will contain 18 electrons only. Clear? Is it clear? So this what we are going to talk of, saturated and unsaturated electronic configuration. Now when we talking of properties, we say that the group, it has similar chemical properties. Why similar chemical properties? That is because they have the same electronic configuration in the valence shell. ठीक है? So general electronic configuration in the valence shell, that is given by ns2np3. We know that chemical properties, they are only going to depend upon the electronic configuration of the outermost shell, as the inner shells, they do not participate in any kind of chemical reactivity. ठीक है? So they all are going to have the same kind of chemical reactivity, but they might show certain gradations as we move from the first member to the last member, and gradation is more pronounced in physical properties. So let's understand the physical properties. The first one which we are going to discuss is metallic and non-metallic character. The metallic character of any element will depend on the fact that how easily can we remove an electron from the outermost shell. ठीक है, कितनी आसानी से हम outermost shell में से इलेक्ट्रॉन को रिमूव कर सकते हैं, उसके ऊपर मेटालिक कैरेक्टर डिपेंड करता है. Because metallic character is also electropositive character. More the electropositive character, more is going to be the metallic character. ठीक है. Now when we looking at the elements of this group, it is seen that nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Nitrogen and phosphorus, they are going to be typical non-metals. Typical non-metals due to very high value of ionization energy, right? So if the value of ionization energy is high, it becomes difficult to remove the electron. ठीक है? So that is going to be, both of these are going to be typical non-metals. When we are talking of arsenic, arsenic is a metalloid. Arsenic, that is going to be a metalloid. When we are talking of antimony and bismuth over here, that is going, both of them they are going to be, they behave as metals. So what can we figure out from what we've written over here? That as we are going down the group, the metallic character that is going to increase. ठीक है? So we are going from non-metallic character to the metallic character. Okay? So reason what we would give for this is, we say that metallic character is inversely proportional to ionization energy. More the value of ionization energy, less is going to be the metallic character. And we also know that ionization energy that will keep on decreasing down the group. ठीक है? So this is the first metallic and non-metallic character. The second property which we are going to discuss is the physical state. Second what we are going to discuss over here is the physical state. Now when we are talking of the elements of group 15, it is seen that nitrogen, that is going to exist as a diatomic gas. Okay, nitrogen is going to exist as a diatomic gas, whereas when we talking of rest of the members of the family, phosphorus, it exists as a tetraatomic solid. Okay, phosphorus that is going to exist as a tetraatomic solid. Now, why this is happening? It is seen that in case of nitrogen, there is formation of p5p5 bonding. That is sidewise overlap of the orbitals to form 2 pi bonds in case of nitrogen. ठीक है? Because of the p5p5 bonding, the bonding between the atoms that is going to be weaker, as a result of which it is going to exist as a gas. Whereas when we are talking of phosphorus, this p5p5 bonding is going to be absent in phosphorus. It is not present in phosphorus due to the larger size of phosphorus with respect to nitrogen. As a result of which, phosphorus, it has purely covalent bonds and exists as a tetrahedral molecule. Okay? Now because of the tetrahedral molecule and all the covalent bonds which are present in phosphorus, the forces of attraction between each of the atom that is going to be more, and phosphorus is going to exist as a solid. ठीक है? So this is one question also which comes in your board. Why nitrogen exists as a diatomic gas, whereas phosphorus exists as a tetraatomic solid, right? When we going on to the rest of the members of this, all the rest of the members, they are going to be solids. Again, the reason may be same, that they do not have p5p5 bonding and the forces of attraction between them are purely covalent, which makes them exist as solids. ठीक है? समझ आया? Okay. Then let's go on to the next third property. Atomic radius. Now when we are discussing the atomic radius, let's compare the atomic radius with group 13 and group 16. So when we go from group 13 to group 14 and then to group 15, the atomic radius, it will keep on increasing. Atomic radius will keep on decreasing. Okay? When we are going from group 13 to 14 to 15, atomic radius that will keep on decreasing. But when we go from group 15 to group 16, so just to be a little this thing, you can put the arrow in the other direction. That when we go from group 15 to group 14, atomic radius is going to increase. 14 to 13, atomic radius is going to increase. But when we go from 15 to 16, the atomic radius, instead of decreasing, it increases. Okay. Now why this is happening? If you're looking at the electronic configuration over here, it is Ns2Np3. When we're looking at the electronic configuration over here, it is Ns2Np4. Okay. Now because of half-filled stable electronic configuration of group 15, the size that is going to be, what is happening to size? It is, when we are going from 13 to 14, it is decreasing. When we are going from 14 to 15, it is again decreasing. But when we are going from 15 to 16, it is increasing. So group 15 or 16 group 16 is going to have a greater atomic radius than group 15 due to half-filled electronic configuration of group 15. In general, if we're talking of, we've done in third chapter of class 11, in general we say that when we are going a longer period, the atomic size should decrease because of increase in nuclear charge. Okay? So when we are moving a longer period, what is happening? We are filling the same shell. Okay? Like for example, if we are taking, let's take the second period. So second period mein we are taking the first element of group 1, which is sodium. Okay? Second period mein first element is going to be sodium, and then over here we have magnesium, we have aluminium in group 13, silicon in group 14, phosphorus in group 15, and oxygen in group, sulfur in group 16, and then chlorine in group 17. Now over here, when we see the trend, if you remember, from sodium to magnesium, the atomic radius that is going to decrease. Right? In all of this, we are filling the second shell. So electronic configuration of the outermost shell over here, that is 2s1. Over here it is going to be 2s2. Here it is going to be 2s2 2p1. Okay? Silicon 2p2, phosphorus 2p3, 2p4, and chlorine is going to be 2s2, 2p5. Right? Now in this case, what do we say? We say that as we are moving along the period, the nuclear charge that is going to increase by 1 unit. But at the same time, we are filling up the same shell. Second shell we are filling up. So this results in increase in effective nuclear charge, as a result of which the atomic size that is going to decrease. But there are two anomalous behaviors which we are going to see over here. One, when we are moving from sodium to magnesium, the atomic size that is decreasing. But when we go from magnesium to aluminium, the atomic size increases. This is because of fully filled electronic configuration of magnesium. These are the type of questions which come to you from this chapter. Okay, that are the trend questions. So you need to be very, very thorough with all the points which is going to make you understand the differences in trends in this chapter. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे ये आ गया. फिर उसके बाद when you going from aluminium to silicon, again the size is going to decrease. Silicon to phosphorus, again size is going to decrease. Then here again the size will increase due to half filled electronic configuration of phosphorus. ठीक है, thereafter the size is going to decrease. समझ आ गया? So this is what is happening to atomic size. But when we are going down the group, in case we are going down the group, the atomic size will keep on increasing due to introduction of a new principal shell. So nitrogen is going to have the smallest size, फिर उसके बाद phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, right? In nitrogen we are filling up 2p3. In phosphorus outermost is 3p3, arsenic 4p3, antimony 5p3 and bismuth 6p3. ठीक है, समझ आ गया? So this is what is happening to the atomic radii. Now when we talking, there's one more point which is important over here. When we talking of covalent radius, it is seen that when we go from nitrogen to phosphorus, there is going to be a considerable increase in the atomic radii. ठीक है, तो जैसे for example we say that over here the atomic radii of nitrogen is 70 picometers. ठीक है, phosphorus का जो atomic radius है that is 110 picometers. So there is a marked difference, but when we keep moving down, you will see that इसका 121 picometers है, इसका 141 picometers है, and still further down this is only 148 picometers. ठीक है, so from here to here there is a lot of change, but when we going from here to here there is not much of a change, only 15 picometers का ही फर्क है, 15-16 picometers. Then here to here only 20 picometers, and here to here only how many? 7 picometers. Why this is happening? This is because when we are going from from phosphorus to arsenic, we also start filling up. If you look at the electronic configuration of phosphorus, it is going to be, what is the electronic configuration of nitrogen first? It is going to be helium 2s2 2p3. ठीक है, फिर जब हम लोग phosphorus पे जाएंगे, electronic configuration is neon 3s2 3p3. ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद हम next पे चले गए, argon 3d10 4s2 4p3. Okay, now over here because we are filling the d orbitals, the screening or shielding effect of the d electrons, that is very less as compared to s and p. So we've come up with a new term over here, screening effect. What do we understand by shielding effect or screening effect? It means that whenever the outer electrons, that is shielded from nuclear charge by the inner electrons, which means that the nuclear charge will not be able to reach the outer electrons because the inner electron is shielding the outer electrons from nuclear charge. Now D has very poor shielding effect. Because of the poor shielding effect of D, what is going to happen is that the outermost electrons would be pulled closer by the nuclear charge because the inner electrons are not able to shield the outer electrons. ठीक है, so as a result what will happen, the outermost shell would be a little tightly bound by the nucleus, so there is not much of a difference over here. Then when we are going to the next antimony, the what is going to be this thing, again d electrons are going to be filled, krypton 4d10 5s2 5p3, poor shielding effect. Now there is very less difference between antimony and bismuth, that is due to the intervening 4f which is going to be filled up over here. So we have xenon 4f14, 5b10, 6s2 and 6p3. F की जो effect होती है that is even lesser than D. It has the poorest shielding effect. So if you're looking at shielding effect, S की सबसे ज्यादा, फिर P की, फिर D की और फिर F की. Due to very poor shielding effect of F, the outermost shell would be again more closely bound to the central atom. Is it clear? So उसकी वजह से the size that does not have much difference when we are moving from antimony to bismuth. Clear हो गया? So this was important. The next property which we go to, the fourth one, that is going to be ionization energy. Ionization energy. What is ionization energy? It is the energy required to remove an electron from the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom, right? Or in simpler words, the energy required to move the electron from the outermost shell. The value of ionization energy is mostly positive because we require energy to remove the electron, right? If we're talking of ionization energies, we say that the value of ionization energies of group 15, again we are comparing 14, 15 and 16, ठीक है? 14 से ionization energy इसकी ज़्यादा होने वाली है, ठीक है? Because size is decreasing. Again 16 से भी इसकी ionization energy ज़्यादा होने वाली है. That is because of half-filled electronic configuration. So amongst group 14, 15 and 16, group 15 is going to have the highest value of ionization energy. Due to two reasons, because of small size, and the other reason is due to stable electronic configuration, that is half-filled electronic configuration of group 15. However, when we are moving down the group, the ionization energy that will keep on decreasing. So nitrogen has the highest value of ionization energy, then phosphorus, then arsenic, then antimony and then bismuth. Okay, the reason over here is due to increase in size. We say that ionization energy depends upon the following factors. Number one, it will depend upon size. That's all you've done in class 11. So size is inversely proportional to ionization energy. ठीक है? Size is inversely proportional to ionization energy. More the size, lesser is going to be the ionization energy. And as we go down the group, the size that is increasing, hence ionization energy is going to decrease. Second, it depends upon the screening effect. It is going to depend upon the screening effect. ठीक है? Screening effect, I have just explained to you what screening effect is. So more the screening effect, less is going to be the ionization energy. Because if the screening effect is more, then what is going to happen? If the screening effect is more, then the outer electrons, they would be pulled with greater force. ठीक है? So screening, not inversely proportional, it needs to be, if the screening effect is more, then the outer electrons, they would be pulled with greater force towards the electrons. Is that what happening? That is what we are saying. If what is screening effect? That is the inner electrons, they shield the outer electrons by the nuclear charge. So if the screening effect is more, then the inner electrons will shield the outer electrons more, as a result of which the nuclear charge will not be able to reach the outer electrons. So we were right that screening effect is inversely proportional to ionization energy. As the f orbitals, they have poor shielding effect, the outer electrons would be more effectively attracted by the nucleus, as a result of which the ionization energy that is going to increase. ठीक है? As s orbital has the highest value of screening effect, in that case the ionization energy that is going to be greater. ठीक है? That is going to be, sorry, less. That is going to be less. So screening effect is inversely proportional to ionization energy. ठीक है? Third, it depends upon electronic configuration. Electronic configuration. In case of electronic configuration, we say that half filled and fully filled, half filled and fully filled electronic configurations, half filled and fully filled electronic configurations are more stable. Therefore, they have higher value of ionization energies. ठीक है? So this is the next property, which is ionization energy. So today we will do only till here. Okay?